Hi there, and welcome to my first episode of the podcast called Wulfpack. In this podcast series, we will be talking about mainly cars, camping, and then social media. I will have various guests on the show, and we will just sit and chat about all these topics, and I'll have some questions on them. So check on my socials for updates and which are the upcoming guests if you want to ask them some questions. In my first episode, we had a few technical issues with the sound, but we will have them fixed on the next episode. So for now, enjoy it. Our first guest is Charline. She is a female solo overlander who came from France, brought her Hilux to South Africa, and started her journey up into Africa. She's been on the road for 14 months now. Like I said, complete female solo traveler up into Africa. She's now in Cape Town for a little while, so I caught her while she was here to do a little podcast about all her travel so far, the troubles she's had, the fun she's had, the memories she's made, the country she's been in. So for now, enjoy this podcast and listen to all her stories. Let me not spoil too much. So listen to all her stories right now on this podcast. Okay, welcome.
I'll say it again.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, so this is the first podcast I'm doing. So you're my first guest. Welcome. Someone gave us a good name, the Wulfpack. So welcome to the Wulfpack.
Nice.
You're part of
I like it.
the Wulfpack now. So for those who don't know, you are Charline. You have been traveling for 14 months now, I think.
Yeah.
Or if not more, you probably haven't updated your things.
14th is going to be 15th very soon.
Oh, wow. Yeah, you've been traveling with, this is your car, Rafiki, through Africa, from France down to Africa. So I've done a video on you before when you just got here, but just for the people who don't know, just give us a recap of your whole thing. You started in France.
Yeah, so I started in France, in the city of Lyon, where my parents live, and the initial plan was to drive through the Middle East and to get to Africa. So the plan was to ship my car from Oman, Muscat, to either Dar es Salaam or Mombasa. But when I was in Turkey, Eastern Turkey, with like many things like the Ukraine war and stuff like that, people were like, yeah, I couldn't receive any more like accurate information for like to ship my car from Oman to Eastern Africa. So I was like, maybe it's better to ship my car from Europe. And so I could find a good opportunity thanks to many people. And I could ship Rafiki from Hamburg in Germany to Cape Town last year.
And how many months did it take you to get from France, that European section?
So European section was quite fast because I was not very interested in doing Europe, right? I was actually very surprised of Turkey, so I had a blast there. It took me 3 months in total. But
from France to, let's say, Germany with the loop included?
Loop included, yeah. But like actually from Turkey to Germany, when I received a positive, like a solution to ship my car, they told me, oh, we've got a vessel for you, but you've got like, it's in 4 days. And I was in Eastern Turkey about to cross like with the border with Iran. And I was like, challenge accepted. So that was quite fast.
And then you got to Cape Town. How long did the ship take?
40 days, 45 days.
Oh, wow,
45 days in total. Yeah. And so to be very accurate, it was like, sorry, I made a mistake. It was like 2 months in the whole loop, and 1 month waiting for Rafiki to arrive in Cape Town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you started from Cape Town and your plan was to drive back up to France? Was that the original plan?
No, I had no plan for this part.
So you just got here and then just started driving up north?
Yeah, not really. My plan was to be in Africa and to just, I had no route in Africa. I didn't know where to go. I just followed people, encounters, landscapes, seasons and stuff. And
so what was your route? You went from Cape Town?
Yeah. So I started in Cape Town and then I drove to Botswana. I had a friend with me at the time for 3 weeks and she wanted to do a loop of Botswana. So we did it in 3 weeks. Then she got back to France, and then from Gaborone in Botswana, I went up again to Kasane. I crossed Zambia. I crossed the north part of Tanzania, and then I entered Rwanda, Uganda, and then Kenya. I wanted to go to Ethiopia, but Ethiopia was not possible with a foreign car anymore, so you had to pay a lot of money. I couldn't afford that. So then I went back to Tanzania on the coast, and then I entered Malawi, Zambia again, Botswana again, and then Namibia, and now here.
Back here.
Yeah.
And like you told me earlier, you're not finished with your trip. This is part of your trip.
It's a part of my trip.
Yes. So
Yes.
you're going to go up north again.
I'm still on the trip.
Yes.
I don't know where I'm going to go. I've got some ideas. I'm like sometimes, should I drive back to France through the West Coast? Should I just enjoy my time here and let's see what happens? Should I ship my car to another continent? But the thing is, like, I'm running out of money, so I'm not sure about all that. The only thing I'm sure about is, like, I'm not ready to leave my car. I'm not ready to live in a home or something. I just want to stay with my car.
Saying you might go to another country, what country would you go to if you had that choice?
Country or continent?
Continent.
Probably the Middle East.
Middle East.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then travel around there
Yeah.
more.
Yeah, if it's possible, yeah. I would love
Okay.
to.
Just for those wondering, my phone's got all the questions and topics on, so I'm not ignoring her.
So rude.
Yes. What has been your favorite country so far, and why?
I hate this question.
I know you hate it.
Why?
Just out of memory's sake now for this trip, not because it's beautiful or anything, just from memories, the one you had the most best experiences in, or the one that caught you more by surprise. Which one would you say was that?
Remember 3 years ago, I was already in Southern Africa and I was stuck in Botswana because of COVID. And I had so much time to explore Botswana. I just love the country itself, but I also madly fell in love with the people there, the Setswana people, and all the cultures and their mentality and so many things. So Botswana is going to be in my heart forever. It will never change. But I would say the country today, I've got goosebumps. The country where we speak I miss the most today is Zambia.
Zambia.
Yeah, it's my top one.
And did you meet Alex when you were in Botswana?
I did.
Yes.
Yeah, Alex.
Awesome. Perfect. I'm going up later this year and I'm planning to go meet Alex while I'm there as well.
Really? You
Yes.
have to.
Yes, I haven't met him in person yet. So Alex, I'm coming up there. So
Me too.
maybe, yeah.
Maybe-
Maybe at the same time.
Wait for us.
That would be actually quite cool.
Do you have a big garage?
He's got the whole Botswana, he's got the whole backyard.
Right.
That would actually be cool if we both in Botswana at the same time.
No, I'm serious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
let's see. We'll work it
we
out.
have
the
to work
timing.
on that.
Mine's in July. Might actually work out.
Mine, I don't know because I have no.
Yeah, okay, but plan according to mine. Drive according to mine.
I follow you.
Okay, before I go on here, you said you'd like to do Lesotho. I would highly recommend Lesotho. I think that'll be beautiful. Do you know anything about the country?
No, I've never been there, and I heard about the Sunny Pass. I actually am very interested in driving the Sunny Pass, if I have to be very honest. But also, many people told me very recently, that Lesotho is actually very. I hate saying authentic because everything is authentic anyway, but it's very different from South Africa, apparently.
Very,
Yeah.
very. I also said it's very traditional still.
Yeah.
It's still very old school. That's not the right word, but it's very traditional. They still all wear their traditional clothing. They still got tribes. You'll have a lot of donkey and horses moving around there. That's their main form of transport from what I saw when I was there. So they've got their donkeys there. They train their donkeys. I don't know how true this is, but that's what I came to gather. They train their donkeys to carry things without a human being there.
No way.
So they'll take the donkey somewhere, load it up, and it'll walk back home because it knows where home is. So you'll be driving, and there's this random donkey that comes walking past you with stuff loaded on the back,
Okay.
and he's on his way back to the home.
Yes.
And then they use the horses there a lot, and we saw like little kids like this on the back of a big horse, and they full gallop just going down to the bush.
my.
Because they grow up on them, so they're so used to riding horses, and like it's so natural to them.
Interesting.
And also the herdsmen that take the sheep and cattle, I think it's mainly sheep around, goats. They also have a dog companion always with them. The dog just follows them wherever they go. They've got this dog that follows them all over.
Oh my. Okay,
So
I
it's
didn't.
very,
Yeah.
it's very the integration between animals and humans there, I found, is very interesting. Like they all work together and may have to work together to get anywhere.
So interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really want to go there.
Just pull the microphone back a little.
Ah merde. Ah oui, merde. Bah, how do you do that?
Just pull the cable.
Oh putain,
There
mais
we
you
go,
and your
perfect.
technology.
Okay, there you go. Perfect. Thank you.
Ah, it's okay.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah, so I think you'll enjoy listening to a lot.
Yeah.
Then let's see. How many kilometers have you done with Rafiki?
Since I left France, 35,000, almost 36.
Wow. And any issues so far? I know it's being serviced now by
The Toyota
Monday.
Hilux. So many people sometimes are like, okay, Charline, tell me the truth. No, come on, like you on Instagram, you blah 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 blah. Tell me the truth. What's wrong with Rafiki? You had a problem, right? No, no. I had to change the battery because it was the original battery, and this car has been built in December 2014.
Okay, yeah.
So
wow, that's
it's
so
a
long.
it's big lifespan, right?
And you don't have one battery, you don't have a dual battery system, just one.
I've got the auxiliary battery.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, but I'm talking about the main battery. So
yes.
I had to change it when I was in Nairobi in Kenya, and that was after I think 13,000 K since Cape Town.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so no, well, I mean, okay, so no mechanical issues, but I had a flat tire in Namibia. People don't know yet because I haven't posted it on Instagram.
Okay.
Spoiling
Spoiler alert.
so, but I had a flat tire.
This one.
Yeah, this was actually I rotated the tires, so it was the one at the back, and my mistake, not Rafiki. I broke one of the rear lights at the back.
The back fender there. What happened there? I know what happened, but I don't know what happened.
It was in Uganda, and I was in Uganda obviously during the rainy season. Otherwise, it's not fun.
Yeah, that's true.
I was literally 1 kilometer away from the border with Congo, DRC, and it was in the mountain, blah blah blah, and it was so slippery. And obviously, I chose to camp somewhere in between banana plants. So I was slaloming with the car, and at some point I was very slow because it's very slippery and it's not proper roads. It's like off road, and someone was with me, a guy from there. And when I'm with someone, that's also the reason why I travel alone, because otherwise I can't focus. I'm focused on the person, not on my car. And so now I'm blaming him, but I was very bad. And then I was like turning slowly again, and the back of the car slided on the side and hit the banana plant. Yeah. So, and it literally very soft, but I was very surprised. It just broke the thing in in 3 parts.
But considering you did 35,000 kilometers, that's still impressive. I mean, one small bump against a tree.
Yeah, but yeah, that's something.
And like you said, no mechanical issues at all, nothing.
Nothing.
But you maintain your car a lot, do you? Like you check the oil, you check.
But the basic, the basic things, the basics. I changed the filters, I checked the oils and blah blah. I should have like filmed that every time I do that. It's just an automatism for me. So sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, and I forget to take the videos and stuff. Yeah. So many people ask me every time, but I'm like, no. I check regularly. So.
And you know your cars, it seems. Yeah, like you quite know if you hear something, or like you said about your wheels are not. Yeah. Good. So you pick it up immediately that there's something wrong.
So do I. And I met many people on the road. We're all different with the cars, but I'm more in the team of maintain your car, do your maintenance, the basic yourself, at least,
It's proof that it's working.
Yeah, but maybe it's also like good luck, or I don't know, but I really do my best. I just so care about my car. I'm not rich. So, money
breaks,
is,
it
can be a lot.
This is your only car here.
Exactly. And this is not even my car. It's like my home. So, if anything happens, I have nothing in France. Like people want, every time they ask me like, oh yeah, in France, what do you have? I have nothing. You can ask my parents. I just store 2 boxes of clothes at my parents and maybe some candles. But the rest is here.
Yeah.
Everything
so you sold everything there to do the trip?
No furniture. No, I don't own an apartment or anything. This is everything I have today.
Wow. That's awesome.
But it's nothing in a way. I mean, not nothing.
Yeah.
Never,
I mean,
never.
It gives you experience which a lot of people wish they had.
Yeah.
What was I going to say now? Yeah, no, but that's impressive. And I mean, you didn't have any issues. We spoke at the Cape Beta Expo about getting stuck. You only got stuck recently. Yeah. And that's just because you didn't want to deflate your tires. But tell us that you didn't get anywhere stuck except now in Namibia.
In Africa?
Yeah.
Never. You know where I was stuck? 12 days in France, in the Alps.
Oh, really?
In the snow, yeah, before going for this adventure. I was testing the tires and I was testing the everything, the car in general, and I got stuck and I could hear wolves around like, woo, yeah, and I was in here with my mastrax, oh putain de merde. So I was putting the mastrax, I was like, putain, Rafiki, please.
Wow, and then in Namibia you got stuck as well, you said on the sand.
Yeah.
But that's only because you didn't want to deflate your tires.
Yeah, because I was, sorry, your microphone, huh? I was lazy. So basically I was traveling with my friends, you know, the bikers from the UK, Matt and Lucy. Hi guys. And so I was traveling with them and they got stuck a lot.
I was about to say, how did they handle the sand? On a bike, that must be difficult. I mean, they kept falling over probably as well.
You will see in the next stories. It's like, it's just the best workout in the world. They are like not even humans, they are robots. But it's just so they got stuck that time. We were like, you know, on just the south part of the Skeleton Coast in Namibia. Okay. And we were like, almost like end of afternoon, you know, bad idea. And looking for like to camp somewhere, and then we saw the beach and some cars, and we're like, oh, actually, Matt, oh, should we drive there? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I started to drive, and I was like in front of them. I overtook them. I was so happy. And then they overtook me, and then they got stuck, and I was just behind, so I had to stop. And then I tried.
And they got you stuck as well.
And I got stuck as well for like many times in a row. I was and like Matt was like, just deflate the tires. I'm like, I'm lazy, I don't want to. It's going to be okay, but hard to redo like the mastrax.
Yeah. Did you know Top Gear, right?
Yes.
Or the Grand Tour? I don't know, it was one of the two. They did the one special where they went up into Africa as well, where Richard had the bike and Jeremy had a bakkie of sorts. I can't remember which brand it was. And this is giving me flashbacks of that, because Richard kept falling over the bike and then Jeremy would be stuck behind him with
Actually, this is true. I think someone told me that recently.
Yeah.
Like, oh guys, you're like the replica of Top Gear. I'm like, what are you talking about? They're like, yeah, you know, they did the same. I'm like, okay. Yeah,
because they had to take water from the coast inland somewhere, and then the bike, old Merc and a bakkie. I think it was a Hilux. I might be mistaken. But it's literally that the bike had falling over and then the bakkie was behind and then helping the bike along.
Well, it was like, it happened to us.
Okay, let's go on here again. So tell us, what's the best... Oh, yes. We spoke at the Cakenet thing about Iceland. You've done Iceland.
Yeah, but not with the car.
No. But what would you say is your best overlanding or trip experience, excluding Rafiki now? Like, it can be involved, but...
Excluding Africa.
In your life, yes.
So, without Africa?
Yes, without Africa. Let's say the Iceland one, or Europe. In Europe, where was your best place you've been, excluding Africa and Rafiki now?
Like, I can't really say Iceland, because the thing is, like, I didn't have a 4x4. I had a very small car, and I was sitting inside, and I'm tall, and I was like, squeeze.
And you can go off-road.
I would say, putain, it's hard. In Europe,
it could be anywhere.
But it was only in Europe. I would say probably Sardinia in Italy, yeah.
But isn't that where you went as a kid as well? It was more Spain you went as a kid.
No, as a kid I was more on a boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And the story you told us about you and your parents going and you sleep on the roof?
Oh my! This was in Africa. It was in Africa.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was in Morocco.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yeah, and Daddy, I hate you.
Why he made you fall in love with us?
No, the real story is not that, but yeah, he did. But yeah, we ended up with my sister because he was worried about guys around, and so like my mom and my dad were the two of them with my brothers, and my sister and me. My dad made us sleep on the roof of the car, but we had nothing. We were literally on the roof of the car, and he was like, my dad was like, you know, just around the car, like all night, checking we're okay. Oh, wow. And with my sister, we were like, actually, I liked it very much. I was like, that's really cool to sleep here, but no mattress, huh?
Yeah, just a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I was like,
oh wow.
13.
And what vehicle was it?
It was I think, I don't remember. Probably a Land Cruiser.
Oh wow, okay.
I think so, yeah.
So a big roof at least.
Yeah,
not a small roof like a
quite flat and quite comfortable. Well,
oh wow. Okay, so on that, what has been your worst experience with this trip?
Worst experience? Namibia!
Shame, yes. Do you mind telling us what happened there?
Yeah,
Briefly.
I would say Uganda is one of my favorite countries, but I also had a love and hate relationship with Uganda. My three favorite countries so far are Botswana, Zambia, and Uganda, for sure. But for everything, landscape, people, everything.
I've actually been to Uganda myself, so I know how it looks there. It's beautiful. We went to what's the biggest lake there? Is it Lake Malawi?
In Uganda?
Yes.
What, Lake Malawi?
Is it that? What's the biggest?
Lake Victoria.
Yes, I think so.
Lake Victoria, yeah.
Yeah, we were at that lake as well.
Oh, by Kampala, nearby the capital, you mean?
I don't know where.
Entebbe?
We went up north. We went high up north. We were near the border of South Sudan. But it was on our way.
On the way, yeah. So on the way you have the Lake Victoria.
Yeah, my direction. Yeah, it is Lake Victoria.
Yeah,
yes.
Lake Victoria, and then on the north you have no lake. It's just like well, I mean maybe you have like small lakes, but yeah.
Okay, sorry. Carry on.
No. So yeah, Uganda. I really it's like my top three, but how can I say it's. I loved it. The only small thing is like every day kids were throwing stones on my car. Yeah. And it was a bit at the end tiring for me.
Even if you're in the like rural areas, or if it was more like...
No, so like towns and stuff, pretty okay. But it was like remote places.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, all the time. So it was for me new, and they kept saying things, and it was a bit disturbing. But yeah, Namibia was a little bit worse.
But you survived all of it. Do you mind telling us what happened in Namibia?
Yeah, I can.
For people who don't know.
Yeah, so I like Namibia very much. I really want to say that. And also I want to say that these kind of things can happen anywhere on the planet, especially in my home country. Yeah. And people don't know in Africa that, oh yeah, France, whoa. It happens everywhere. So
yeah, I mean, I spoke to a lot of Namibians as well, and they say it's rare that it happened. I met Namibians that knew the story because it's so rare that it happens that it spread throughout the entire country.
I had these people telling me the same thing. I received many messages from people telling me it happens a lot. Yeah. So, you know, like some people, they're like, oh, it never happens. I think we're all different, like perceptions and experiences and encounters, it's always different. So obviously everyone is, but let's say it happens everywhere anyway. So it's just a matter of bad luck. Maybe I made a mistake myself getting out of the car. So, you know, we never know. But the thing is like, so this is actually quite recent still. It happens before my birthday, the first one on the 15th of January. So I was basically, so we crossed with my friends, with the bikers, we crossed the border between Botswana and Namibia, Cape Strip. So we drove the whole Cape Strip, and then the plan was to head south slowly. And then we were camping in Otavi, and between Otavi and Otjiwarongo in the north part of Namibia. On the road, I spotted two policemen, and they were checking the speed. They had a machine and everything on the side of the road, and one of them waved at me to park, and I was a bit surprised, but at the same time, you know, maybe they're just checking also. So because I'm always cruising, I'm never, because for like fuel consumption, you know, like it's a lot of money. Yeah, it's the main thing for this travel is like the fuel, and so I'm very careful with that. I always try to stay constant, the same speed. To be very fluent, not aggressive, not to brake hard or to accelerate hard. And so I was cruising probably 70, 75, and the speed limit was probably 100, because this is those very long, endless roads in the middle of the savannah of nowhere. So, you know, anyway, so he waved at me, I parked on the side of the road, and then he was asking me, are you alone? And I was in Namibia 3 years ago, nothing happened to me, and I was very fine. I love the people, and for me, I was like, okay, that's you know, I can talk to them, it's fine. And that time, not really, so he was like, oh, get your papers and get out of the car. And I'm like, okay. And this was the first mistake. I never ever during my whole trip, I never get out of the car with policemen because I don't really trust police in Africa.
And you were alone at that time? The bikers weren't with you?
No, they were not with me because they left earlier in the morning and we were supposed to meet up again later that day. But we didn't because I couldn't. And so I got out of the car and then they asked me to. They wanted to see my driving license, and I had my phone on one hand, and on the other hand I had my wallet. I was opening my wallet to grab my papers, and while I was doing this is grab my phone. And then he was playing with me and I was like, give my phone back, and he just still playing. He's like, oh, you do what I want, I'm the police, you're not the police, you answer what I want and then we see for your phone. And I'm like, no, you don't have the right to take my personal belongings, give me my phone back. And I put a little part of the video recently on Instagram, and they were a bit violent with me, like the oldest guy, the young one was filming me, and the old one was starting to hit me. So, and then a huge Toyota Hilux, white Toyota Hilux drove by and was slowing down, and the two policemen, they look at this guy because it was nobody, it was like in the morning. And so they walk away from me and I could get back to Rafiki. So this guy in this truck literally saved my life, but we never know. I know, maybe not, maybe, I don't know, I don't know what could have happened. But.
Thankfully you got away from that.
But it was like just one after it was, I got robbed, but this is, it can happen everywhere as well, but I got robbed like 3 days later, and 5 days later I got trapped by a gang in Walvis Bay, in the Dunes shopping center. And that was hard as well.
So you had a whole bad luck streak happening at once.
Yeah. But I'm here and I'm fine, and that's okay.
But you still carried on with your trip. But someone said the other day that they're quite intimidated by you.
Who said that?
I don't know who it was, but it was I think Hannes scared you from behind at the Gagnet Expo, and you were like ready to fight him.
Oh yeah, I wanted to punch him.
Yes.
No, because he was like doing this on my leg. I was like, you want a uppercut?
And the thing is, I think you would be able to put up quite a fight. So he didn't want to be on the fighting end of your side. He would be on the losing end.
I was like,
did you encounter any animals on your trip? Well, you must have.
Yeah.
But what animals did you all encounter? Anything that stood out?
Like you mean on safari or like?
No, anything, just of your whole trip. Did you have any like strange or interesting animal encounters?
Well, it started in Europe actually, in Italy, in the mountains. I was sleeping while camping and with wolves around. Jeez. And that was actually one of my first times in Europe.
That's one of my biggest fears. Is wolves.
Really?
Yeah, just the sound of them in the bush. You can't see them, it's dark.
Do you know what happened? I heard them, and that was my very first time like hearing and and properly seeing them, because I was in the rooftop tent, and it was like, because I started the adventure, it was winter time, and it was probably in the mountain between Italy and France, but Italian side, and it was probably at night -8 or 9 or something. So I was like in the tent doing my things, and then I heard the woo, but quite far, but they're never alone, right? They're always in a pack. And then I was like, okay, I can hear it's quite far, I can still pee. And so, and I had no pee box at the time. So I started to open the first, layer of the tent. And while I was opening it, I swear, at the bottom of the ladder of the rooftop tent, a huge dog, but too big to be a dog, but no, really huge. And a dog, when you do something or when you surprise a dog, it does something. It can, I don't know, bark at you, or it can like just move or just run away or do something. This one stayed like this, not something in the eyes, nothing.
Does it look at you?
Looking at me.
Oh, wow.
And I was like, oh putain, I don't think it's a dog. And I just closed the tent again. And the whole night, I was almost like peeing on me. I was like, putain, I need to be so bad. The whole night I didn't sleep. That was actually,
Did they stay there the whole night around you, or don't you know?
No, I don't think so. I don't think so.
So they were
quiet. But I didn't want to go out.
Yeah. So they didn't make a noise when they were like He was just there.
No, he didn't say anything.
Wow.
Didn't say anything. But it's very, you know, he looked like a dog.
Yeah.
But it was different.
So it was a wolf.
It was very confusing, yeah. But also it was like pitch dark, so I was like half with my torch trying to open the thing, and then I was like, oh. Yeah, that was the second day of the adventure.
Yeah. And in Africa, anything like that sort in Africa?
Yeah, lots.
Really?
Well, of course. No wolves.
Yeah, no wolves, but lions, hyenas, elephants.
A lot, especially in Uganda.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Uganda, I stayed in nearby the Queen Elizabeth National Park.
Okay.
And when I was staying there,
is that the park that's open? There's no fences around it?
Yeah.
So we had a puncture in that park.
No way.
We were driving. We had a local drive us around with his vehicle. It was like a van type of thing. And we're driving, but we were way over our time. We were on a shoot there for a documentary for refugee camp. So we were heading way up north to the refugee camp. And we left very late. We ran over time. I think it was between 11 or 12 o'clock at night. We're driving through this park and we hit a pothole, but it punctured both our tires, both sides. Now he's only got one spare, and me, I don't know, we're in a park. We get out the car because I was sitting passenger seat, trying to keep everyone or the driver awake with me. So I saw, like, I could hear a puncture, I could hear the tires are flat. Our mirror broke off. That's how hard we hit the holes. So I get out, I see the wheels are flat. I was like, oh, okay, he's gonna change it. So I start walking to see where the hole was we hit. And they start screaming at me like, no, you can't go out there, because it's in a park. There's like animals all around. And I was like, oh, okay. So we get to the car. Now, we only have one spare, and it's 12 o'clock at night. There's no one. And by chance, a truck came past us like 10 minutes after standing there. So the driver took the other spare with the truck driver, and they went to the nearest village to see if they can get it repaired. Now he's sitting in the car, 12 o'clock at night, and you can hear this like animals around you, and we're just sitting stuck in this car that can't move. But yeah, that was, I think it's the same park.
Yeah, I think more or less I stayed there like for 12 nights, but I was like always outside at night.
Oh, wow.
Around my car, like, and one night rangers came, like, because I was next to a lodge, but next, like 1 kilometer away from a lodge. So the ranger knew about me. It was like sometimes checking my tires. Some nights it was like checking around my car and me and stuff. And one night he's like, oh yeah, we were around your tent because we saw 8 lions. And not around my tent, but like
in the area.
One was like 2 meters away from my car.
And did you know it or not?
I heard them, and I put that on Instagram. I heard like roaring like every night.
Yeah, but
I heard them roaring.
Their roars can travel very far.
Yeah, but very close.
It was vibrating.
I had hippos
that
night. I had hippos like touching my car, almost touching my car.
Didn't you wish you had a higher tent then?
No.
To get out the way?
No, because like, of course, an animal, you never know. It can have a disease or like be crazy or whatever, just starving or whatever. Like, we never know what happens, but I mean, if inside you, like, you feel, I don't even know how to explain, but
you get a feeling.
Yeah, if you have, the animals feels, I'm sure they feel things, and if you have the right behavior, and if you
stay calm,
but also if your intentions are pure and peaceful and stuff, they feel that. And so, no, I had nothing. I had nothing. I was in Zambia, like I had a bad experience. No, it was so cool. I drove between the South Langwa and the North Langwa. If some people they know it's a very tough like track because it's deep sand, riverbed, blah, 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 to get to a pontoon to then enter the North Langwa National Park. So most of the people, what they do after South Langwa, they go and they go through Chipata and they enter Malawi instead because it's easier. But you don't want to do that because when it's easier, it's boring.
Yes,
so I was like, let's go to North Langwa. And while I was, it was like, for me, it took me 15 hours. So I started very early in the morning.
How much kilometers was it?
Not a lot.
Oh,
it was, I don't really remember, but probably maybe not even 100.
Jeez.
No, it was hectic, hectic. And so you're very slow, blah, blah, blah. I need to check the distance, but then, so you cross also a few game reserves on the way. And then I was in the last game reserve, just before the pontoon, you know.
Yeah.
And but I knew I had to sleep this side because it was the water was here, so I needed to wait the following morning to cross on the pontoon.
Okay.
So I was arriving this part, and I was driving slow because it was dark already, pitch dark already. It was probably 5:30 p.m. And then suddenly I hit something, a bump, and I was maybe a little bit too fast on it. But I was not fast, but maybe a little bit too fast for this bump sensation. And I bumped it, and my load bed, the mountain top of the load bed came off.
Yes.
And it literally came off. All my ammo boxes inside, I could see them from behind.
Oh wow.
They jumped. So you could see ammo boxes like in between the load bed and the mountain top.
Yes.
And I saw that in the rear mirrors. I was like, oh shit, man. And I was in the game reserve at night.
Jeez. And you don't
No
want to get
signal,
out.
nothing. I got out from so I took my knife, my pepper spray, my headlamp, my torch, and my axe. And I literally opened the window on the driver's seat.
Yes.
So this side window. I just got out from this window. I climbed on the cabin
On the roof.
to check because I couldn't climb on the load bed, it was broken. And on the room, from the roof, it was like a boom, boom, I was like destroying the roof. I was shaking with the torch. I was like, oh putain, I have to drive. I have to drive with that open.
Yes.
I drove a total of half an hour, 5K per hour to reach that part because I knew like you had like a few people apparently living there, like not even maybe 2-3 people. No, it's not even a village, it's just a house with like 2-3 people. And so I was like, I need to find that place. So I was driving, and then I couldn't see because I was very focused on behind. Yeah. I saw people with lights looking, and because they heard my car. And I saw them, I was like, guys, I'm in the shit. Can you help me? And those locals, they were so kind. They helped me to we removed all the ammo boxes, everything inside my car, and we put everything back again. But it's still broken. That's the reason why I've got straps behind, yes. Because the load bed the mountain top is dead, broken, yeah. Wow. Yeah, and that was hectic because, and so when I was like climbing above, I could hear lions roaring. Yeah, you can hear hyenas. All around, and I'm like, oh putain, my gosh, and I was like,
you're on the roof.
And I was on the roof with all my sensations, but of course, like a knife. What can I do? They're going to eat me anyway. No, man, I'm joking, but it was the adrenaline is here, you know.
But that makes part of the experience. I mean, it's a memory you'll always remember now. Like you said, if you take the easy route, you don't remember it because it's too easy.
Yeah, it's also very nice at some point because I took it, when I was driving from Tanzania to go back south again. I drove this Malawi route and it was beautiful, gorgeous. But that time in Zambia, I wanted really to make the most of Zambia if possible because I love this country so much. Yeah.
Are you going back to Zambia?
Yeah. I'm not sure yet, but maybe.
But if you end up there, I've got a friend who's a farm there apparently. Where? So in Zambia.
No, but it's big, huh?
Apparently very big, yeah. But
no, but I mean the country is very big. So
I don't know where it is.
Oh, okay.
I just know it's in Zambia. But I can see if I can get you in contact with him, and then you can go through his farm, or maybe it's make a special route through his farm or something. Yeah. But he says something about there's only certain like 3 months or 4 months a year which you can actually get there, because otherwise if it's rain season you can't get there.
Yeah, because
so he only goes up that small amount of time. He lives in South Africa. He only goes up that small amount of time because other than that you literally can't drive there. It's too muddy and too difficult to cross. Okay, back to our questions. Talking about this now, what would you change on Rafiki?
Nothing.
Nothing? Surely we want to add spots though, at least. Spotlights because I mean it's very dark out there in night. Yeah,
no, I did it. So, like, to be very honest.
Or a winch so you can get yourself out.
Yeah, but look, I was fine.
You still made it.
But so. I know, I of course, like, if like for my car to be like more, looking good, and you put a bumper, you put a winch, you change many things, and the better suspensions, but.
You're just using it. You don't want it to look good. You want to use it. It has to be drivable.
Like on the road, like you meet so many people well equipped, but you meet crazy people. They have nothing. They're on a bike, like my friends. Yeah. They're on a bicycle. They have like normal cars, and they're okay. You know, they're really okay. So I don't have to change anything on my car. Today, if you ask me if you have to change, nothing. But if I want to change to make it like look nice, yeah, many things. Solar panels, bumper. Many people were like, you won't survive with your fridge, it's 19 liters. I don't even want to change my fridge. Even if someone's like, oh, I have a bigger fridge. No, I don't want it.
Yeah. Oh, well, you're very space conscious as well, because you don't have much space. I mean, you live in the car, so you've got a lot more luggage in it, if I can say it that way.
Yeah.
Where most people just go away for a week or two at most,
Yeah.
where they don't need that much clothing and luggage and stuff, where you've got a lot more in here. I mean, you said your whole life is in here.
Yeah, everything. Everything.
What is one of the biggest lessons you've learned, not after your trip, you're still busy with it, but during your trip so far?
To stay humble.
Oh.
Yeah, definitely, to stay humble with everything, nature, animals, people, things, life. Yeah. Yeah.
That's good. Okay, then I have a few questions from Instagram, which the people wanted to ask you.
I hope they're nice, huh?
Yeah, they are nice. Troopy in Africa asked, what is the total days? That is 14 months.
I have no idea.
It's 14 months.
Yeah.
Tell me, you can figure out what that is in days.
Yeah, just count.
He also wants to know, I don't know if you're going to know this, but what's your estimate costing of the trip?
Okay, so many people, how do you fund your trip? Are you rich? You must be so rich. Oh yeah, I was born so rich. Lucky me. So basically, to be very honest, the before the trip, the buying my car, the equipment, blah, blah, is something else. But just for you guys, if you want to know, per year, it's 15,000 euros.
And that's border crossings, the paperwork.
No,
fuel.
border crossings, yeah, everything. But border crossings also, I've got a Canada Passage, so it's also something different.
Yeah,
it's very specific. So I will do like probably videos explaining everything, because I can understand. For me, it was very confusing. So I can understand some people preparing trips like this. They want to know exactly. So I think I'm going to do my best to explain. But
I can't ever remember that word. What's that word?
Canada Passage.
Yes.
Yeah, it's only in French, huh?
Yeah, but it's everyone calls it that. That's the actual term for it.
Yeah, I know, Canada Passage.
But that paperwork always goes through my head. But apparently with that, you get your money back with that. Am I right?
Yeah.
It's like a deposit.
Yeah.
If you sell your car in another country, then they keep it. But other than that, it's deposit.
Actually, you know, the reason why I'm here in Cape Town now, I was not supposed to be in Cape Town now.
Is to redo the paperwork.
I had to buy a new Canada Passage. So I had to basically send to France my old Canada Passage. They has to, the people here, the authorities of South Africa, they had to put the exit stamp. And the people from France, they sent me the new Canada Passage. And I was very sad because on my Canada Passage, I've got all the stamps for all the countries, and I don't have it anymore. So it was a bit...
So you can renew it in this country. You don't have to go back to your
home
country.
You can renew from here.
Oh, okay.
The only thing is, like here, especially with South Africa, Namibia and Botswana, you need a pre-authorization from the SARS here. And so the authorities here, the border authority, I don't know how to say that. And so they need to say, okay, we agree your car, we authorize your car, your import car to be on our territories. And so they were like, okay, if you come to South Africa, it's maybe easier for us to do all the things. I was like, okay, I'm not far away. I was in Namibia. I was in Keetmanshoop in Namibia. I was like, okay, I'm going to drive down. And then I did the exchange, the paperwork, everything. And then France, they check, the authorities there, the automobile club, they check your stamps, the countries, everything. And then if it looks okay, they refund you the money. Yeah.
And it's valid for a year, correct?
Yes, 12 months.
And there was something else I was going to ask, but he also wanted to know what your cost per day. But I mean, that's
well, it depends.
Yeah.
Sometimes I go to a camping. Sometimes I wild camp. Sometimes I need to buy food on the street. Sometimes it's better to go to a supermarket. So I can't really. Yeah. Basically it's per year 15,000 euros.
Excluding the purchasing and the kitting of the car.
This is before.
Yes.
I'm just talking about like the fuel, the accommodation, everything.
It also depends which country you're in, because fuel will be cheaper in different countries.
Exactly.
Or more expensive in different countries.
Yeah.
There was something I was going to ask about that, but I'll get back to that. I can't remember. My brain is horrible at things like that. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Thurara Bapu. How did you start? That was a question. I don't know exactly how did you start in France, but I want to add to this, what motivated you to do this trip?
So in December 2019, I decided to quit my job and to travel the world. I had a great job in London. People, they really want to know this part. I had a very good job in London. I was happy with my job. I was happy with my life. But in 20, whatever, I don't want to say the year, but I lost my cousin in a motorbike accident, and he was a fan of all that.
Oh, wow.
He loved like deserts and stuff like that, and he was my close cousin, and he was only 25. And I suddenly realized that actually the life my parents gave me, this nomad life on the boat, actually was my life. And I was okay, I want to recreate that with something so I can move all the time. And I don't want to, I don't know, like I just, life is very short, and I just realized that, and I'm like, okay, I want to go for this life. And so I decided to quit my job in December 2019 and to travel the world. And I was looking at the seasons and everything. And apparently going to Ethiopia at the time was pretty nice. So I was okay, let's go to Ethiopia. And then I rented a car in Johannesburg and I crossed South Africa, Namibia, Botswana. But in Botswana, COVID happened. So I was stuck in Botswana for many months. And while I was in Botswana, something incredible, it happened already like a few months earlier, but I was like, my gosh, I'm in love with Africa. I'm in love with it. I mean, it's not Africa, because we say Africa. Africa has got, you know, many countries, very different countries.
Each one's different.
But there is something, I swear, magical in this country, mystical, that I never felt in Europe or elsewhere in the world.
I've had many people say that, yeah.
I swear. And for me, I felt close to my cousin in Africa. And I'm emotional.
So again, second time.
Oh putain!
Sorry.
No, but I found a very emotional family. Putain, because of my dad.
Oh, you cried in the interview as well.
Ah, shit. No, I won't cry. I will look there.
Look at Rafiki.
Hi. No. And so I miss him.
Yeah.
And so I did anyway. So then COVID happened, blah blah blah. So I was repatriated to Europe, and when I arrived in Europe in London, I was the saddest, and because it was not my decision, I refused the repatriation 12 times.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I was illegal in Botswana for a few months, and so I was there, and I was I can't do it. My boss at the time was amazing. He's like, okay, work again with us, please. So I did, and I was okay. I'm going to save money like crazy. I was living in a very shitty apartment. Nothing. I just had a room. I had not even an apartment. I was living literally in a bedroom. If you see the bedroom, it's
smaller than Rafiki.
Oh my gosh, you can't imagine. And I was like, my goal is to go back to Africa. But I've been saving money for a little while before, and so I was just, you know, craving for that. And one day the finance were okay. I was okay, I'm going to buy the car, I need to go back.
What's the reason you bought your car there and not here?
I was bored.
Good answer.
That's the reason. I was bored. It was COVID, everyone was talking about COVID, and it was not very nice for anyone on the planet, right? So my personal strategy was like, okay, I don't want to wait to be in Africa. Okay, I could buy a car with bush law or any. No, I was like, actually, that's a sign. I need my car here from France.
Yeah. But you also planned what to drive it down, so that's also one of the reasons.
Well,
or was that
I could adapt.
Yeah.
I could adapt. So yeah, I wanted to drive down, but I mean, the main reason was like I wanted to draw my car. I wanted this to be more than a car, and the adventure for me started before. Yeah, so I wanted to start the adventure before with Rafiki.
Yeah,
and then we could go together.
You must get her a Rafiki number plate.
Yeah, I don't know if it's possible in France. That's a
don't
good
think so.
idea.
Okay, then Fayyad A asked, if she could take a 4x4 trailer, would she? Or is it best to go as light as possible?
A trailer?
Yeah.
No, but guys, I'm alone,
A
no?
4x4 trailer, so those camper trailers things. But it's probably the lighter the better with you.
Well, also I'm alone. I think the danger is like, the enemy of these cars is like weight. So if you have more storage, more space, I'm still a woman. So I want to like fill all the holes. No, space here. Like, put,
That's true. The more space you have, the more you pack and you overpack.
No, yeah, I don't need that.
Okay, J Olivier 5 asked, what is the most interesting thing that happened to you on your trip?
Interesting.
What's the first thing that comes to mind when you think of your whole trip?
Okay, the first thing which comes to my mind is like, I had no idea you could get attached so much to a car. I'm sorry to talk about Rafiki all the time, but without this car, like I would be maybe not here.
Yeah.
So I love it.
You grow a solid attachment to it, emotional attachment as well.
Yeah.
That's cool. Stacy22 Page asked, what was the most memorable moment? And then what is your next step in life?
I like these questions. It's a very deep, a memorable moment. You know, I'm worried about your...
Why?
No, about your battery. Huh?
It's still going.
So
it's
I'm
fine.
stressed a little bit. Okay.
No, carry on. If it dies, it dies. We've got the audio.
Okay. Are we?
Yes.
Good. Okay. Memorable, because I'm like, I need to find the answer.
No, take your time.
Peter, memorable memory so far. Oh putain, I had so much. Okay, pick one. Vache.
Okay, think about that. What's your next step in life?
Putain!
Is that much easier?
Let's go back to the other one. My next step in life, to get closer to happiness.
So how are you going to get much closer? You seem very happy with what you're doing now.
So I'm going to keep doing that. If I can keep going, whatever.
Keep going.
Can keep going. Yeah, I would love. It's just because I'm now you put me. You have the power to put me in the sensation. Probably to, I don't know, settle down in Africa at some point. I don't know, maybe.
Where would you settle? Botswana, or would you be more closer to more European, South African lifestyle, or would you like to do a more African lifestyle by going higher up in Africa?
Actually, I have no idea why I say I want to settle, because the word settle somewhere, it makes me wanna.
Don't want to do it.
I'm stressed. So I'm not ready for that, definitely, I think. But if I have, I don't know, probably Botswana, or I don't know.
And let's now finish with those questions. How was it to, first of all, do it solo, your whole travel solo, and secondly, as a female doing it solo?
I can't change my sex.
Yeah, you can.
Solo?
What
Why? Because I'm alone?
What challenges did you have with both of those, individually or together? Being a solo, either one solo and two being a female solo traveler. Did you have any challenges that came from doing that?
I had a little challenge, but that was after I bought Rafiki in France. I had to fight a little bit because in France, sadly, it's very macho. And so 3 garages, they refused to help me.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was drawing my car and I asked them if they could put something, the rooftop tent and everything on the car. And I showed them and they're like, oh, really, you go there, blah, blah, blah. And they talk about the Paris-Dakar, they were comparing things. I had no idea why, and I was like, okay, that was very, for me, hard because that was the very beginning. And I was, okay, they don't believe in my adventure. That was very frustrating, and so yeah, that was very hard to be a female. Otherwise, during my adventure, to be a woman, it's, I think also, it's easy in a way because it's kind of a passport. I don't know, maybe, I don't know, it's just people, they're very kind with me. They want to help me, especially men, like anywhere in like remote places in Africa, they seemed so concerned about my situation. They so wanted to make me happy and to make me feel safe, and it's, yeah, being a woman is it's also, I think, a good thing in a way, because you don't have bad people on the planet. We think humanity is lost and stuff. No. I met way more amazing people and generous people than bad people, actually, very rare. Yeah. And also bad people, you know, in Namibia, blah, 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 some people, they need to survive. So you can't judge as well. You can't judge. But no, it was not challenging for me. Also, look, my parents, they will be like, oh yes, totally. I have a very strong temper.
I can believe
I have a very strong temper. That's the reason why I'm single. So when I have something in mind, I just go straight for, focus. And nothing else exists. And also I'm very, I don't know, like, now so far I had no problem. Like being a woman for me is not a problem.
And isn't it, being solo, doesn't it get lonely at times, especially when you're with wild camping and you're not between people often?
So for the 10 first months of the adventure, so when 10 first months, so I was in Kenya and I was about to cross the border with Tanzania on the coast. This moment was for me, I was very sad every day for like 2 weeks or something. That was the first time I felt lonely because I miss my family, and then I was like, why am I alone, you know? And then I don't know, we came back again.
But you do meet up with people along the way, so
yeah,
you're not
many
completely
times.
alone.
No, you're never alone.
Meet people.
You meet amazing people, but for me it's tricky to be with humans because I'm, you know, I've got my things in my head. I'm a bit weird, and no, really, like I'm very weird, and so I can't stay with people very long.
Yes, well, we saw at the Cape Net Expo, it was the most people you saw in a long time, and you weren't very happy being between all these people.
Yeah.
Okay, so one thing that I found out about you about the Cape Net Expo, which I want to add, is you singing.
No, but putain, no, I told you I scream, I don't sing. Putain, no, this is a trap, huh?
Yeah, it is.
No, I would never sing.
But you were in a band.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I just want to, you don't have to sing, I just want to, like, it's interesting.
Oh my gosh, shame. Yes.
That is so cool though.
Yes.
In Europe, I guess.
No, in a band, in a girls band, like shitty thing. We were like just like playing on stage, like in small bars and stuff. Like
it's so cool though.
Yeah.
Was this in London now?
No, that was in France.
In France.
Yeah, that was in Paris.
That is such it's a cool fact about you.
Putain, I didn't expect that, huh? My gosh.
Okay. Yeah. Do you have anything you want to add? Because I think we'll end it there. I've gone through all my questions I wanted to ask.
Bah no, I think I'm fine. Just go to Africa.
Yeah. Now you can carry on with your trip. I'm done with you now. Now you can carry back on.
I can carry with my trip. Rafiki, let's go. Oh no.
But yeah, thank you. It was fun to listen to you.
Yeah. Thank you very much for the questions and for your time.
Yeah, and then good luck on your trip back up. Maybe we run into each other in Botswana. That would be very cool.
The second loop.
Yeah, because I'm planning to stay on a bit longer in Botswana because I'm going up with Roland to do a trip, one of his trips.
Yeah.
And then we're ending very close to Alex. So.
But he told me about like the Botswana part.
Yes, yeah, we're going up into Botswana.
Because I'm supposed to meet him as well there.
Yeah, but he's up there now a few times because of his trips, of his travels.
No, but he told me like at the Cape Net Expo, he told me that we should like, him and I, like meet in Botswana.
That'll be cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, we'll keep each other updated.
Yeah.
And then maybe we run into each other in Botswana and then we do a night or two.
Inshallah.
Yeah, in there with Alex as well. But then you two can speak French and I can't.
Yeah, that was very funny because when I saw him, I was in his shop, I think it's his store or something in Gaborone. And it was so funny because he came to me and he was like, "Hey, Charline, salut, ça va?" I was like, "What?"
That's probably the first. No, but you probably spoke a bit of French in some of the African countries because they do.
I never spoke
Not
French.
once.
No.
Some of the African countries do speak French.
Yeah, but in Western Africa.
Yeah,
no, in this
more
part.
West, yeah.
No, even Rwanda, they don't speak French anymore. I mean, the people I met, they don't speak French anymore. They only speak.
So that's probably the first time you're speaking French in a very long time.
That was, well, actually, not very long time, because when I saw him, it was like at the beginning of the adventure.
Oh, okay.
So I was still, was the 4th or 5th month, but it was nice. And then I met French speakers, like travelers.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can go back to Rafiki.
Yeah, thank you.
I know
very
you don't
much.
let anyone else drive it, so you have to take this back.
No, it's me. But then you turn here.
Yeah, I'll move out the way, then you can turn around, or you can reverse back. We'll figure it out. We can
Okay.
go out that way maybe as well. Go through
Yeah.
the mud hole over there.
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't have fuel, huh?
No, we'll take the downhill. You can coast downhill.
Voilà. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
I hope everyone enjoyed
Oh
it.
merde, you were stiffing me when I was like, you can turn. Oh merde.
Yeah,
Sorry.
no, that's going in the video. No, that was good. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're the first podcast, and then many more to come. And for now, follow her adventures.
I hope you the best with the podcast. It's a very
Thank
good
you.
idea. You're a
Thank
very
you.
good interviewer.
Oh,
I
thank
really
you.
appreciate it.
Well, you're a good speaker as well.
Yeah.
You're very passionate when speaking, so it's awesome
Really?
to chat to you.
So funny.
And yeah, good luck on your adventures.
Thank
Follow
you.
her, follow your adventures.
Thank
And
you.
Like I said, catch you in Botswana.
Yes, Inch'Allah.
Awesome. Cool.
Ah putain.
Now
nice.
we're done.
Allez.